What if I told you that there are places on Earth where modern engineering is just completely stumped by ancient tech, where faith seems to bend the rules of science? Well, today we're going on a journey right into the heart of India to explore some incredible temples that are home to some of the world's most fascinating mysteries. But first, let me just throw this question at you. Can you imagine going to a sacred temple and for your holy offering, your prasad, you get noodles? Yeah, sounds a little wild, right? Well, the answer is just one of the many surprises we're about to uncover. So let's kick things off with the structures themselves, the architectural marvels. And I'm not just talking about old buildings here. These are feats of engineering that kind of defy what we thought was even possible back then. And in some cases, what's possible even today. We tend to think our modern cranes and high-tech tools are the pinnacle of construction, right? But how does all that really stack up against what was being built over 1,000 years ago? Well, for the answer, let's take a look at the Brihadiswara Temple in Tamil Nadu. Okay, I want you to just focus on this number, 80 tons. To put that in perspective, that's about the same weight as 13 adult elephants. Just let that colossal weight sink in for a second. So that 80-ton weight, that's the dome of the temple. And get this, it was carved from one single solid block of granite. That alone is an incredible feat of sculpture. But the real mystery is how on earth they got it up there. Right, that massive single stone was hoisted 216 feet into the air and placed perfectly on top of the temple, 1,000 years ago, with no modern cranes. And if that wasn't mind-bending enough, the entire temple was built using interlocking stones. No cement, no binding agents. How? That is a question that still has engineers scratching their heads. And the puzzles, they just don't stop there. Over at the Lepakachi Temple in Andhra Pradesh, you can find the famous hanging pillar. So out of 70 pillars holding the place up, this one, well, it doesn't quite touch the ground. People actually pass a cloth or a piece of paper right under it, believing it brings good luck. It's just a stunning, almost impossible display of ancient precision. But you see, these temples are so much more than just architectural wonders. What happens inside them is just as mysterious. So now we're going to shift from how they were built to the what they practice, which includes some of the most unique and frankly surprising rituals and offerings you'll find anywhere in the world. So in a lot of temples, the offering, or prasad, is usually something like sweets or flowers, but not always. We're about to visit temples where the offerings include alcohol, noodles, chocolate, and even toy airplanes. Yeah, you heard me. Let's take a closer look. First up, in the ancient city of Varanasi, we find the Kal Bhairav Temple. Here, the primary offering to the deity is actually alcohol. Wine, liquor, you name it, is presented to the god before being given back to the devotees as a sacred blessing. And hey, remember my question about noodles? Well, here is your answer. In Kolkata's Chinatown, the Chinese Kali Temple stands as this beautiful symbol of cultures blending together. The story goes that it was built after a child from the Chinese community was miraculously cured here. So today, devotees offer noodles, chop suey, and even momos to the Hindu goddess Kali, and that becomes the holy offering. Okay, this next story is just delightful. Down in Kerala, the Munch Murgun temple is dedicated to a child god who, apparently, has a bit of a sweet tooth. The whole tradition started when a young boy offered his Munch chocolate bar while praying, and his illness was cured. Now devotees show up with boxes of these exact chocolates to ask for blessings. So we've seen unusual offerings and impossible architecture. But some temples, well, they present an even bigger challenge, not to our engineering skills, but to our very understanding of science. These are places where things happen that leave researchers totally baffled. All right, now have a look at this number, 25,000. What could a number that huge possibly represent inside a temple? That is the estimated number of rats living in the Karni Mata temple in Rajasthan. And here, these thousands of rats are considered sacred descendants of a goddess. They're protected, they're fed by devotees who walk barefoot among them. It's even thought to be a great blessing if one of them runs across your feet. But the real scientific mystery, despite this massive rodent population, there has never, ever been a recorded outbreak of plague or any related disease there. How is that possible? And for our most dramatic example, we go to the Bijli Mahadev Temple. Here, this incredible, predictable cycle of destruction and rebirth just unfolds. Every 12 years, a bolt of lightning strikes the temple's sacred stone idol, the lingam, and shatters it completely. The temple priest then painstakingly reassembles all the fragments using butter as an adhesive. The local belief is that the deity intentionally draws the lightning to himself to spare the people of the valley from disaster. So, from floating pillars and chocolate offerings to lightning strikes on a schedule and thousands of disease-free rats, what is the thread that ties all of this together? We've really entered a realm where belief seems to operate outside the normal rules of logic. This is faith beyond reason. You know, a quote comes to mind that I think just sums this all up perfectly. Here, one finds amazing aspects of faith and deep glimpses into India's cultural diversity. These places are so much more than buildings. They're living, breathing windows into the incredible tapestry of human belief. So we're left with one last big question. What are we really witnessing in these temples? Are these divine miracles? Are they just unsolved scientific puzzles that we haven't decoded yet? Or are they simply a testament to the profound and incredible power of unwavering faith? You know, maybe the mystery is the point. That's definitely something to think about.